Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is Sumaira Khan and welcome to our show for PAYF. We are here in Afghanistan and we are honored to have time for an interaction on camera with our very respectable ambassador to Afghanistan, Pakistan's ambassador to Afghanistan, His Excellency Mansoor Ahmad Khan. He's here with us. We are honored that he took out time from his busy schedule and he is available with us to comment on the affairs of Pakistan and Afghanistan. Specifically, we'll be talking about some bilateral issues, and I'll be going towards him without any further ado. Sir, a very warm welcome to the PAYF Forum, and we are here to have some interaction with you. This will be broadcasted to the entire Pakistan and the population in Afghanistan. So I'll be keeping it mix and match in Urdu and English. So I hope you are comfortable with that.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to welcome you on this visit by PAYF to Kabul, to Afghanistan. We believe that these visits by journalists and the civil society play an important role in bringing the people of the two countries closer and strengthening the bilateral relations. I am also grateful to you for giving me this opportunity for taking my views in your program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. We are indeed we are honored. Sir, I'll start my question with, and we'll have a recap of this question in Urdu as well. You are very familiar with Afghanistan. You have been serving here in the past as well. Right now, you are ambassador to Afghanistan from Pakistan side. Can you give us a quick recap that in the olden times and right now, what difference you feel in the bilateral ties, despite having a lot of tough situation that has been arising for both the nations, and what you have been doing from the Pakistani side to remove and to eliminate all these hurdles, those who are hampering the bilateral ties?
First of all, Pakistan and Afghanistan are two brotherly neighboring countries. The two countries are very close to each other because of very close and brotherly people to people contacts between the two countries. And therefore, the focus of our efforts in the past years, past many years, has been to develop, to deepen a good bilateral relationship that is between the two governments as well as between the two people. Now, in the current phase, the focus of the government of Pakistan, the focus of Pakistan's policy is on three main areas. Number one, to assist Afghanistan's efforts, to assist international community's efforts for a political settlement in Afghanistan.
Right.
There is no military solution to the Afghan conflict.
Right.
And there is a recognition of this fact internationally. Therefore, efforts are underway through an intra-Afghan peace process in which all the major countries of the world are also involved for bringing a lasting peace and stability to Afghanistan.
Right.
Pakistan has been constructively engaged in these efforts for facilitating these peace efforts and for ensuring that a lasting political settlement is reached among Afghans through an intra-Afghan process, a settlement which is comprehensive, which is broad-based, and which is inclusive. So we hope that as a result of this process, there will be a setup in Afghanistan which will be democratic, which will have respect for, or which will incorporate internationally recognized human rights, and which will be acceptable to Afghanistan. The second area of our policy is strengthening bilateral engagement.
Right.
And as you have seen, we have arranged, we have organized some high-level visits between the two countries from both sides. Prime Minister of Pakistan visited Afghanistan, visited Kabul, had meetings with Afghan leadership, and his message was very strong that Pakistan will be the biggest beneficiary of lasting peace in Afghanistan after Afghanistan. So that is a very strong message.
Indeed.
That Pakistan desires peace and stability in Afghanistan. There have been some important visits by some important political leaders from Afghanistan to Pakistan. As we speak, the Speaker of Afghan Parliament, Mr. Rahman Rahmani, is in Pakistan attending a parliamentary conference. And apart from that, from these strengthening these political level and government to government exchanges, our focus is on also facilitating people to people contacts. Therefore, Pakistan government has brought up very liberal, multiple long-term visa policy for Afghans. We are facilitating trade and transit contracts between the two countries. We are providing annually 1,000 scholarships to Afghan students who are studying in Pakistani universities and colleges. A large number of students, otherwise on self-financing basis, also goes to Pakistan. We are facilitating medical treatment of Afghans in Pakistan. We are also facilitating very facilitative trade and transit regime between our countries. And the third area of our focus, our policy, is developing regional connectivity. So we are looking forward to working with Afghanistan, developing railway connectivity between Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Central Asia, power transmission projects through Central Asia to Pakistan through Afghanistan, TAPI project, and such other projects. So we are following a very comprehensive projects, and we believe that our consistency of our policy, continuing from last few years and now moving forward, we will be able to help Afghanistan in bringing lasting peace, stability, and prosperity of Afghanistan.
Right. And I wanted to add a little thing that you recently invited. We were seeing your tweets about that. You invited the Foreign Minister Hanif Atmar, Afghan Foreign Minister Hanif Atmar as well. And who else you are right now in contact to bridge the gap that was created because of few irresponsible statements. So indeed, we saw Pakistan handling everything very responsibly and as a responsible state. And obviously, credit goes to you. A lot of credit goes to you in this regard, to the embassy in this regard, that you guys are working days and nights to keep that sustainability between the two countries, despite many hurdles. So, how do you go about it right now? Who else is present in the government of Afghanistan that is so willingly cooperating with you?
Pakistan has been engaged in constructive efforts for facilitating peace efforts in Afghanistan, for facilitating efforts for lasting peace and stability in Afghanistan. And Pakistan's efforts have been recognized by the international community. Unfortunately, some irresponsible statements or statements using undignified remarks were perturbing, disturbing for Pakistan. We have, through our diplomatic channels, raised our concerns with the Afghan side, but we have also kept our channels of communication, our diplomatic channels open for cooperation and for exchanges with the Afghan side. In this regard, Pakistan has extended an invitation to Afghan Foreign Minister, His Excellency Mr. Hanif Atmar, to visit Pakistan. This invitation was on cards for some time. The visit was being planned, and now I'm happy that we have formally extended him an invitation, which I handed him in a meeting yesterday. His Excellency Hanif Atmar has welcomed the invitation and has expressed hope that he will be visiting Pakistan soon.
Right.
So our effort, I think, the two countries' effort should be to ensure uh, continued efforts in a collaborative manner for working towards promoting peace and stability in Afghanistan, as well as strengthening of bilateral relations.
Okay. And as well, here in Pakistan is playing a pivotal role, a key role, a critical role in bringing not just peace process to the table. Pakistan is rendering all-out effort to bring all sides to a conducive environment to at least get a unified consensus on this peace process. But also, when we club this intra-Afghan dialogue, peace process, where do we see intra-Afghan dialogue creating disturbance in bringing this peace process to some logical end? Do you think that first of all the personalities in Afghanistan they need to bring consensus first in intra-Afghan dialogue, then they can move on to peace process? Or what do you think? What should come next, or what should come first?
As I said, there is no military solution to the conflict. Pakistan has been consistently emphasizing this point that efforts should be made for a political settlement. We are encouraged, we are happy that this established position of Pakistan has now been recognized, and the entire international community is supporting intra-Afghan peace efforts. Now, the peace process is the intra-Afghan peace process, or which is also generally called Doha peace process.
Right.
It started from the US Taliban peace agreement signed in Doha on 29th February 2020, and it then led to start of intra-Afghan peace talks. We have to be mindful that this peace process is trying to bring an end to more than 4 decades of conflict in Afghanistan.
Right.
And there are complex ethnic and internal dimensions of the conflict which have to be addressed by this process. It will, in our view, require sustained effort and perseverance on parts of all the parties to the conflict. Uh, the neighbors of Afghanistan, including Pakistan, the international community are behind this process. They are supporting it. You have seen the groups like Extended Troika also making serious efforts for taking this process to its logical conclusion. At the end of the day, what is important to realize is that intra-Afghan consensus will lead Afghans to sit together. Exactly. And reach an agreement about the future of Afghanistan. And we will continue to engage with Afghanistan. We will to continue to encourage Afghan leaders, Afghan negotiators, Afghan interlocutors, whether they are from the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan side or they are from Taliban. It is their country. They have to work together for ensuring that Afghanistan moves out of an era of internal conflict and moves towards a new era of peace, stability, and progress.
That's a very comprehensive picture given by you. And my last question would be from you. I'll club two small questions. They are kind of two small quarters that I'm trying to connect with each other. One is how Pakistan is foreseeing everything after US troop withdrawal, because it's right now a big question mark for the youth of Afghanistan. As we just spent a few days in Kabul and in Afghanistan, there are few fears amongst the youth of Afghanistan that what's next now? Another troop withdrawal, and after the Soviets situation, they have already been through this litmus test, and they're fearing another war at the verge of Kabul, at the doors of Kabul. So, how you are present here, and you are probably the first who brought their own family to Kabul. So, just giving a situation that it's a situation of normalcy for a Pakistani diplomat who's bringing his family as well and living with his family in Kabul. But Kabul's very own people are fearing another war. Do you think it's on the doors of Kabul once the US troops are withdrawing from here? Or what is the role for Pakistani government and Pakistan's side that they'll be playing to eliminate those fears from the younger generation of youth? How you are going about it? How you are working towards elimination of those fears from the young generation of Afghanistan?
I think you are absolutely right. You have put a very pertinent and most relevant question. The U.S. troop withdrawal, and that troop withdrawal also taking place in a very short span or relatively short span of time,
Sure.
presents a major challenge. There are fears, there are apprehensions among the Afghans, among the Afghan society, Afghan people, that it may lead to deteriorating security situation, and it may lead to instability. But it is our view, it is Pakistan's view, and it is Pakistan's message that this opportunity, it also provides an opportunity for building internal consensus and for reaching a political settlement. And to reinforce this message, this message has not been only given by Pakistan through our diplomatic interaction, but there was a visit that took place, a very important visit on 10th May, when Chief of Army Staff General Bajwa, accompanied by Director General ISI General Faiz Hamid, visited Kabul, and we had a meeting with Afghan leadership. And in this meeting, UK's Chief of Defence Staff General Carter was also present. The visit was aimed at conveying a strong message by Pakistan that we want stability in Afghanistan. We want to assist Afghanistan in moving towards an inclusive political settlement, a peaceful political settlement, and we want Afghanistan to go towards an era of instability chaos or continued conflict. So, in our view, Pakistan being one of the close neighbors, and we know that other neighbors are also willing to assist Afghanistan in this phase and move towards an intra-Afghan political settlement. So we are quite hopeful that while there are challenges, but there is also hope.
Right. So, what about Afghan youth? As we have heard that you are taking a lot of steps to bring the Afghan youth at par with the Pakistani youth. A little comment on that.
You know, Afghan youth are a big reality, a big sign of optimism for a bright future for Afghanistan. We are engaged in deepening Afghan youth's connectivity to Pakistan. We believe that they will take Afghanistan to progressive and prosperous future, and therefore we are engaged with them in terms of deepening educational linkages between the media, linkages between the journalistic community, linkages through increased opportunities for trade, transit, and investment. And we believe that the political settlement, the long due political
It's very
settlement to
necessary.
bring an end to more than 4 decades of conflict will open up new opportunities for this youth.
Thank you very much, sir. We are highly appreciative of you. You took time out of your busy schedule. This was His Excellency Mansoor Ahmad Khan, Pakistan's ambassador to Afghanistan. And as he's hopeful, he's optimistic about the future of Afghanistan. We are more optimistic because of his efforts here. He's been rendering these efforts days and nights. And I'm very proudly saying that Pakistan is doing its part with all honor, with all pride, and with everything it can render for Afghanistan, for a brighter future, for Rohana Mustaqbil of Afghanistan, as we Pashtuns say it like that. I'll be signing off from here. I'll be meeting you with another interview in a few days. And till then, I'll be signing off from the Pakistan's embassy. We are very proudly right now sitting here as part of our family. So right now we are feeling at home. So signing off from the Pakistan embassy in Kabul. We'll be meeting you soon. Till then, Allah Hafiz and stay tuned.